Here we go again, another career profile. My second career profile that I chose to do was as a college professor for marriage and family studies. It's kind of intrigued me and kind of caught my interest just because I see my professors mostly every day, depending on which classes I'm in. And they seem to really enjoy their jobs. And in all reality, I love to teach, so I think that would be really neat for me. Um, so let's get started. The working environment, it actually isn't too bad. Um, I, I found that most marriage and family professors have like a regular 8-hour shift. Of course, they've got their lecture times, which they go to class and teach their lectures. But then at the same time, they have leeway on both sides of their lectures, before preparing lessons, doing stuff like that, um, homework from the day before, and then also after. They could work on homework, they could work on preparation for the next day. It all just really depends on the professor, the way that they do things. So basically they have their own office hours to where they have students that come in. So in all reality, there's not really a whole lot of stress, and it's fairly flexible. But at the same time, some professors are really into their jobs, and when they go home, a lot of times they really study and they really dive deep and stuff like that. So I guess it just really depends on the professor and how much they really enjoy working and how much they really enjoy doing the things that make them happy. Some of the typical stressors that they encounter is having to deal with making sure the courses have beneficial material. I would assume that's a pretty big one, honestly. Another thing they have to watch out for is making sure that their students truly learn something from their lectures that could benefit their own personal lives or even the lives of other people. Professors are kept in high standard in making sure that men and women leave the classroom with more knowledge and tools than they did before they came to class. And they do those things so that their students can be better members in society or of society. To add on to that, they're under obligation to make sure that their students receive grades for the work they perform. And since that's the case, they're literally the ones who have power to pass or fail a student. Some of the typical benefits that these professors have are not having to work hard labor. I mean, that's a pretty big one. They're paid very well and receive good retirements. Depending on which school you teach at depends on, in all reality, how much money you make, how much retirements you get, your 401k, things like that. Like I kind of said before, it just really depends on the teacher and how much they're willing to work. So the benefits, how much they get paid, their retirement, things like that, just really depends on how much they're willing to sacrifice and put forth. Another thing is their health. Of course, being a teacher, being at school, sometimes before the hour, or before you teach lectures, or before you even clock in, and sometimes after, also depends on the teacher. So, are you willing to go out and run that day or not? I don't know. This really depends on the teacher, or depends on the professor. Common job tasks. Some of the responsibilities include teaching courses in the area of social and behavioral sciences, psychology, marriage and family therapy, and human development. The candidate will be expected to mentor graduate students, share in student advertising, and actively participate in the department and university. The teaching load may include research methods, supervised practicum, and Christian principles of marriage and family therapy. Those are some of the things. The educational requirements. I took a lot of these different sentences that I'll mention from a lot of different websites, and so it's not just like one set college, it's a bunch of different colleges. Let's see, one of the colleges said one must be a licensed marriage and family therapist or license eligible through AAMFT. One must have evidence of strong clinical supervision skills and significant clinical experience is one of the requirements. Some of the job specifications is a master's degree from an accredited school of social work, psychology, or counseling related field, or counseling. A lot of it depends on the specific age group, the knowledge one has, the laws and procedures of reporting to regulatory agencies. Yeah. And one of them even said minimum 6 months in a behavioral health setting is required. And like I said, these come from a bunch of different colleges. Yeah. The starting salary range and experience salary range, I kind of put it all together. The salary range is a wide chasm jumping from about $33.08 to about $46.75, depending on the professor, how many years he's taught, credibility, things like that. So it's pretty big. On a different website, it stated that the median expected salary for a typical assistant professor was $62,654. That's quite a bit of money. Of course, you have your outliers, and I also got some percentiles. In the 25th percentile, it mentioned about $51,192, and in the 75th percentile, which is way past the mean or median, is $76,327 a year. So that's not bad. That's really not bad at all. And that is my material. Thanks, guys.